For the past year, I've been working on a Western arcade shooter called High Moon, but updates have been slow due to the weather. In the meanwhile, I thought we could hunker down and cozy up and talk about the design of the game's main character, Johnjo. This is one of the character designs I am the most proud of, and he was actually designed for a game that I was working on years ago, but it wasn't exactly love at first sight. My old teammates found his design so offensive, it ruined our friendship and killed our game studio. So stick around, and I'll tell you the story about how he was designed and how it ruined me. It all began in the sweet, supple year of... I was doing the game and character design for a post-apocalyptic car game for a new indie company I started with my coworker and best buddy, Wings. Wings was a Top Gun graphic designer, and he was in charge of the art direction, and my brother Benny was there too. Wings wanted the game to have more of a realistic, ambient type look, but I'm a cartoon boy. But I think I was able to perfectly mix the two. I tried my best. To be fair to me, post-apoc is a little bit out of my comfort zone, and Wings knew I needed direction. He noticed that the playtesters were starting to develop their own different playstyles, and suggested that I use those as, quote, Wingspiration, and that Benny should just keep doing whatever Benny does. We ended up with a total of 5 different personalities, and one of them was for players who like to be in control. Instead of an aimless heap of gears and shoulder pads, I could design a character that really knew how to lay down the law, a sheriff. I'm a very traditional guy. I don't need no tablet, no fancy AI generator. I just need the cheapest paper money can buy and a Blackwing Palomino. And I'm gonna need all that paper, cause I never erase. This may look like a mess to you, but this is my design palette, and the ideas are my colors. Maybe I like the belt on this one, the stash on him. This one's raw animal magnetism. I'll take what I like, mix them together. Maybe I should reconsider erasing. A big part of designing is taste, but what I'm really trying to do is establish some recognizability and a unique identity. Why don't I bust out the crayons, add a little chrome to this monochrome? But I say if it ain't good in grayscale, it don't deserve to be in color. Now Wings lives in a world of color. Like a true graphic designer, he knows that the best way to speak to the viewer is through the visual language and conventions they understand. And he believed that our game's visual style should match expectations, but in a beautiful way. I'm not like that. For me, games are about the other worlds of possibility and surprise. And when designing a character, I want the viewer to think, I didn't know a sheriff could look that way. That's what you sound like. And what's more surprising than a sheriff samurai? I had to wrangle the elements of a cowboy and a samurai like a true gunslinging sensei, drawing inspiration from kabuto helmets and old military uniforms. And after a few hiccups, I'm about to commit howdy-kiri. I finally felt like I nailed that perfect balance. What do you think, bro? Sometimes I just don't understand you. While I was doing all this designing, Wings was getting quotes from the printers, and we agreed on the goal to reveal the finished characters to the team before the next playtest. But they weren't ready yet. He had the outfit, but he was missing a face. It wasn't enough personality. Some of the faces I tried were too prissy, too dopey, too old, too young. None of these faces felt like they were in control, that they had determination. I don't even know what I was thinking with this one. I tried a ton of faces, and you can see them all on my Patreon. But I was getting burnt out and a little worried I wasn't going to reach the goal. So I looked up from my designs and he looked back. For every big goal I make, I write it on the bottom of these Daruma dolls, and they don't stop staring until I get it done. But just look at that determined face. I'm sure if it were on my boy here, no outlaw would feel safe with Jack Black on their trail. What a great face to add to the roster, and amongst the more pointed cast, I made sure to balance his silhouette to be just as sturdy as your mom's bed. He was now an individual worthy of a name. But I didn't actually give him one. That happened years later and is an entirely different story, but I'd love to go into it, but we'll just do that in another video. I busted out the watercolors and some actually expensive paper, and he was complete. And it was time to present him in full color to the team. They didn't like it. Wings wanted that beautiful post-apocalyptic look and thought that this face was just too silly to cut it. It stung a little. I spent weeks pouring my heart into this design. And Wings hated it. And he was gonna tell me that it looked too cartoony and not like a post-apocalyptic type character at all. I don't care how right he is. But Wings was my friend, so I responded the way any friend would. I refused to compromise and split up the team due to creative differences. And that was the last time I ever saw Wings. Wings and I are still friends today, but we never really worked on a project together after that. It's hard to know whether a little more communication on my end would have steered the design into something that satisfied both our visions, or whether or not our artistic preferences could even mix in the first place. I don't know. What do you think? Did you just sneeze? I tried to continue making the game, but it's hard working alone. Loser! But hey, at least I still got this cool design. Hey Benny, Mom and Dad kick you out again? Yeah. Like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this.
In hindsight, I mean, the character designs grew on me. They grew on me. You know, they grew on me because I started to see what it was. And I much rather would have liked to see it through. I'll still hear my family and stuff say they're without all the art, it was pretty fun. And they're disappointed that it didn't co